Starfield by Bethesda Game Studios and Xbox is nothing short of an incredible game. I'm really happy with how this game turned out, and usually games of this size with this hype around it turn out badly, like we've seen in Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach and Cyberpunk 2077. So the expectations for this one were super high. Comparatively, I like to think of this game's release as a game's release for Elden Ring. You know, where people didn't think it was ever going to happen, but now we finally have it, and Starfield is a massive adventure that's going to take a while to unpack, so buckle your seatbelts and let's go into the space that is Starfield. Right off the bat, when you first open this game, you definitely notice that Bethesda Game Studios charm like you see in Fallout, like you see in Skyrim, and this game definitely has a similar opening to some of those games. And each time that you talk to a character in this game, it definitely feels like those classic Bethesda Game Studios games, which is something that I really didn't think about going into this game, but it's definitely something that's present and something that I didn't realize I missed when playing those other games. And as far as the story goes, it's definitely like Bethesda's classic story approaches, where the story's kind of second and the game is first. There's nothing wrong with the story, in my opinion. I haven't gotten all the way through the story, but it's just something that you need to understand going into this game, is that story is definitely not the exact main factor that this game is trying to approach. It's definitely focused on the gameplay. Speaking of the gameplay, it's really good, and they definitely didn't phone these gameplay mechanics in either. The menus, everything sounds super good, everything is super easy to read, and every single mission has updates telling you where you need to go. Not to say that the game is super easy, but you definitely won't be wandering around wasting game time, which I absolutely love, meaning every single second you're playing the game, you're progressing, instead of some other games I've reviewed where that doesn't happen and you're left wandering, losing precious game time. And as far as gameplay issues go, I didn't really experience any. I know there's a lot of backlash this game got for having only 30 frames per second locked on consoles, or I guess just Xbox consoles, because this game is not available on PlayStation yet. I don't know if it ever will be. I guess it will, but as for right now, this game's only available on PC and Xbox, and the PC version is the one that I played. So when I found out that the console version was locked at 30 frames per second, I was really surprised, maybe just at how well my computer was able to handle it, because I've never had that happen before. But Starfield felt so smooth. I'm actually curious as to why it's locked for 30 frames per second. It is a beautiful game. The graphics are incredible and everything looks stunning. My mouth was open half of the stream because I didn't really know what to say, because everything was just so breathtaking and beautiful. But the fact that it's locked for 30 frames per second on console is kind of something that worries me a little bit. Even games massive file size like GTA and Elden Ring, while those games were made a little bit earlier, they aren't locked to 30 frames per second, which makes me sad for the future of console gaming as people switch to PC. As for performance issues, I didn't really experience any. I have one of the top level computers, so maybe that's why, but really there was nothing like any glitches or any bugs, which really surprised me just at the scale of this game, because you really don't understand the scale of this game until you sit down and play it, which the scale is absolutely massive. So getting that and knowing that there are no bugs or glitches, or at least I encountered zero, really makes you feel like they finally released a polished game in this day and age, which is really refreshing in my opinion. Definitely my favorite part of this game is the exploration and the different parts of the world you can visit. It's super cool how every single planet has like their different ecosystems and gravity, and it's really good, and they definitely didn't phone any of these either. Some planets seem more similar to each other than others, but it's definitely one of the biggest and most ambitious things I've ever seen, and they do it really well in Starfield. Another part I had a lot of fun with was definitely the customizing my own personal character, although I wish you could make him a bunch of different races like you could in Skyrim. But I really like the thing that they do with the shipbuilding, because you get to build your own ship, you get to buy other ships, you get to customize your own ship. It's super cool what they do with it, and it's really intriguing to go buy more parts or go get credits in order to buy more parts. It's super fun, and this game definitely pushes you to progress each and every step of the way, and it's super easy to learn. So with that being said, am I impressed with Starfield? Absolutely. Do I think it's one of the best games to come out in the last 10 years? Yes, I do think it's one of the best games to come out in that time period. Is it better than Elden Ring? That's for you to decide. I really think Elden Ring and Starfield, in terms of scale, these games are really close. And I think genuinely, if you're a fan of open world games like myself, it being my favorite genre, you should definitely give this one a try, unless you're on console and you just can't stand games being at 30 frames per second, which I understand. But if you have a PC, or if you're okay with games being at 30 frames per second, you should definitely give Starfield a try. if you have Game Pass or something like that, or if you just want to buy it outright, because let me tell you, you're going to be sinking hours upon hours into this fun adventure. With that being said, I think I'd rate the game about a 9.5 out of 10. It's almost perfect, but I'm waiting to see what else they have. Maybe there'll be some DLC to do even more exploration, and I've only explored not very much of this game, and I can't wait to explore more. In fact, I'm rushing this video just so I can play more of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, like this video if others can watch it, and let me know what you think of Starfield. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's overrated? Let me know your opinions in the comments below. And as always, I will see you beautiful people on the flip side. Goodbye, everybody.